Remember when I was happy doing this, guys, and I was looking forward to seeing Spider-Man have adventures? Yeah, so do I. Homecoming Park, whatever. Everybody in the room is held in healing. But, right, we have a fight with Sunset Shimmer. We have a Spider-Man battle, and you're interrupting it with this fixie bullcrap! Why? Why are we here? Why is any of this important? And why, for the love of Celestia's flowing mane, did we not take the main six if they are so damn important and transport them into the other world along with, oh, I don't know, their best friend? Why are we not taking them from one location and putting them in a location where they belong? But no. Apparently, we're only going to have Twilight in the Marvelverse, and then we're going to spend every 5 minutes talking about these other characters and doing stuff that should have been explained, should have been shown back in the earlier chapters. Are you trying to see how far I can go with this all the time? I mean, seriously. You just. Why? Why go through all the trouble of sending us back right when you're in the middle of a fight? This works in manga, this works in anime, but not in a freaking story! And yeah, all you're missing is Trixie fighting and losing because of something or other. Sakura talks in once again, gives a story of how Peter Parker is a freaking godsend, and we should all bow down to him. And I am getting freaking annoyed at that because I know how awesome Peter is, but I don't need it rubbed in my face every single chapter. As he mentions something about the web of life. Trixie, has my understanding. You said Peter is the web of life? Oh god, no. I've never heard such a thing. I was the shaman of my village 7 years ago, explained Sakura, but there was cast doubt when I detected a change in the world's spiritual flow. It is rumored that shamans can sense it according to our mythology. It is true, thanks to my unique biology. Strength in her voice began to waver. She closed her eyes, and before her shame could become increasingly evident. P.S. Sakura apparently has a crush on Pierre, too. I sensed the web of life would change the landscape, so I ventured out to make my escape. Eventually, I found a town of Ponyville and a home in Everfree. I feared my studies would fall, but they didn't, after the yearly count of 3. The night the town was attacked by the dragon, I found the answer. It was in the form of Peter, a dull-witted prancer. When we first met, I had to be a sleuth, so I gave him a drug to reveal the truth. He cleansed Peter's blood of hydra poison, but I added an antidote. But little did he realize, it released a unique magical entity from his fur coat. Peter does not know of his earthly importance, because he's incredibly dense, but the web of life is connected to his mind, his sixth sense. You mean his fire sense? Apple stared at the adult, so confused in her eyes. What does this have to do with us? I'm afraid of finding out the answer. Sakura tapped her tube for her chest. We have great importance to his life, and because strands in the web Peter has created. Without dust at the center, the web cannot sustain life. It has been fated. The mayor paused, taking time to exchange glances of every point in the room. Because our connection, we share some of the pain, but it is up to the center of the web to lighten the strain. Her magic has brought them here, and now their spirits are one. It is up to her to make sure that this day is one. What? Derpy tilted her head to the side. How do you know all this? Sakura glanced away. I was informed telepathically by one so wise. Her name is Madam Web, and she begged me to ensure Peter never dies. Yeah, kind of hard to do that when you're in a freaking other dimension! Trixie raised a brow. I have no idea who this Madam Web is, but you're making a little more sense now. I'm glad you do! We have become part of this web, appear as the cause. It is a form of magic, and we must be immensely powerful to affect all of us. It can't be right. Pierce's magical abilities are laughable at best. I doubt he even realizes what he's doing. Wait, if logically speaking, if we and his friends are the strands in the web, the center would have to be the most important pony in his wife. You said her magic brought Pierre here, right? That means Twilight Sparkle. It must be her somehow. Oh boy, you can't really make me believe this. Really? Really? Peter Parker comes into the lives of each one of these girls, helps them out with some sort of small little problem that they may or may not have, and helps them experience and understand their lives just a little bit better. And so, like, boom! They're important to him? They are important to him? Really? Okay. If you wanted to establish that these girls are important to Peter, then maybe instead of having Pierce save their lives or have them experience something more about themselves or have Pierce cheer them up and put them on a pedestal after they were feeling down about something, you would have them help him out. But instead, as it feels more like he is important to them. And what's more, all you're doing is once again putting Pierre on a freaking pedestal. And of course, doing my favorite type of thing. You are establishing another type of romance that does kind of irk on my nerves, and it's very rarely that I find one that I can enjoy. That's right, the destined love. You're now officially telling me that Peter Parker and Twilight are so important that they are the center of this web. Congratulations, Vic. You have just removed all sense of drama from Twilight and Peter's relationship. Not that there was much of any before, and not that I actually cared about their relationship before, but even now, you just removed every sense of your relationship, because you're now saying that Twilight is so important to Peter's life that she is the center of his web, which means no matter what happens, they will always get back together. I know what you're thinking, but you love Sailor Moon, you love Mamo-chan and Usagi's relationship. Believe it or not, that's kind of different. It's not so much as a destined love, as a type of love that was slowly rebuilt. Kind of like, in my view, in my opinion, it was like an old couple who split apart for a while, never saw each other for a while, but came back together. And if there's only one thing I can say about the breakup arc of R, despite the fact that I hate it, is that it did show that Usagi and Mamo-chan can have their problems. But I also know this from the manga. Because Usagi does sometimes get tempted with Haruka. I don't blame her. If Haruka wasn't gay, I would be all over that racer like butter on jelly. But this is different. This basically just told us and threw it in our face that, yes, Twilight will be together with Pierre forever. So any other challenges that may hinder the relationship will not break it. I also don't like this whole entire idea that Pierre is so dang wonderful, special, godly G that he is now connected to their lives so much so that if he gets hurt, they get hurt. I feel like it's insulting to Pierce as friends, like Harry Osborn. And it's just going to continue to make the girls feel less important than Twilight, Luna, and maybe even Trixie. And that kind of goes against the entire plot of the show, you know. Oh, and we have a scene of Octavia realizes he's part of this mystical web, too. I hate it when you go a little bit too far with the mysticism in my Spider-Man. A little like Mr. Negative and Madam Web, that's okay. Or interacting on an adventure with Dr. Strange, that's alright. But Spire Totems, Spider-Man being the chosen one, Yeah, as much as I love JMS, that was kind of stupid. And all that, that's right out! 28 days remain until the portal closes. Spider-Man's senses cleared, freeing the young man from his trance. His masked eyes shot open. Sunset Shimmer was inches away from snuffing out his light like a useless flame. Fist glowed before she slanted forward, generating fissures across the air. Cracks spread, forming along the walls of buildings. Spider-Man managed to duck underneath the first wave that came near. He leapt over the second, and a shockwave erupted from the center of the attack, forcing Spider-Man to fire a strand of webbing across the street and yank himself outside the blast radius. Walls of buildings disintegrated. The entire structure collapsed around Sunset Shimmer. The force of the explosion blew the hero off balance. With superhuman dexterity, he easily managed to land perfectly on his feet after a few mid-air twirls. Sunset Shimmer screeched at the top of her lungs, the vibrations of her voice causing all glass within the vicinity to shatter. She took a step forward, but a bolt of energy soared past Spider-Man, narrowly missing his head and slanted to her gut instead, sending her body careening for several yards before it smashed through the wall of a nearby building. Luna landed gracefully next to Spider-Man. Her gleaming hand aimed in the direction Shimmer had been blasted. Spider-Man prepared to lower himself into a defensive stance, but a loud popping sound from his side and an immense strong of pain and caused his hand to clutch his ribs instead. Are you alright? Luna questioned. Her eyes narrowed, still staring towards Sunset's direction. Shaking his head, Peter groaned. Oh, I'll be okay. I think Batgirl just broke around my webs. No big deal. Luna scoffed, leering at the hunched over hero from the corner of her eye. Even in the most dire situations, it was evident which wisecracker was behind the mask. Before the princess could respond, however, Shimmer teleported behind her with her claws reared back. Peter swayed in front of the would-be sneak attacker and dove her shoulder into her collarbone. She shrugged off the attack, following it up with a second slash attempt. Spider-Man dove forward, wrapped his arms around Luna's body, lowering them just inches beneath Shimmer's claws. Lowering his hand to the ground, Peter pushed himself back into a vertical position, swung Luna to her feet, and carried her with a wide kick. The back of his heel collided with Shimmer's jaw, spinning her around completely. Spider-Man lunged forward, uppercutting Shimmer high into the air. Luna vanished from her position, reappeared directly above Shimmer, driving her elbow against the back of the girl's skull. Spider-Man tangled in mid-air, throwing her body back to his partner. Luna held out her hands, firing a beam directly to Sunset's chest. Shimmer bounced off the ground, cracked the pavement, rolling back to her feet. But the second she managed to stop her momentum, Spider-Man and Luna, side by side, hammering her fists to her wide-open forehead. Her body back, wriggling like a wet noodle, smashing into the door of a nearby automobile and leaving a human-sized dent in the metal. Luna extended her hand before clenching into a fist. Before Shimmer could free her embedded frame from the car, thunder roared across the sky. A large bolt of lightning crashed down from the heavens like a cannon blast, shredding the automobile into a million slivers of metal until an explosion of smoke and ash erupted. Spider-Man threw his arm over his face, bracing himself for an explosion. Luna! We're trying to save her, not reduce her into a smoldering heap! When the flames surrounding the debris died down, the sky began to clear. The erect form of Shimmer was standing before the pair, crackling all over like a broken generator, shrieking defiantly. Her skin was singed, but she paid her injuries no mind. Spider-Man moaned, his hand running over to his side. Okay, never mind. This isn't good. How? She wasn't nearly destroyed with Twilight Fire a few days ago. Luna's brow lowered. Chaos is a powerful element, my friend. Osborn has enhanced her strength, but... She trailed off, shaking her head. I can sense Sunset Shimmer's thoughts. She's crying out in pain. Her body is fighting us, devoid of a mind, ignoring her limitations. If Sunset Shimmer continues to fight us like this, I fear she'll overexert herself for the rest. Spider-Man nodded. That's probably Osborn's intention. He doesn't want Shimmer to come back. A little growl escaped his mouth. That's sick. He wants Shimmer to kill herself to get to us. We have to stop her. Now! A massive surge of energy rushed down from Shimmer, enveloping every vehicle in the area. Cars, trucks began to hover above ground as maniacal Shimmer began to laugh, the sound resembling the Green Goblin's cackling. The girl threw her hands forward, and turned, thrusting all vehicles in Princess and Luna and Spider-Man's direction. Luna, her eyes burning bright, brought both arms forward and countered with her own wave of energy. Suddenly the automobile stopped mid-flight, yet maintained their hovering positions. Shimmer snarled and pushed her claws forward. The vehicles proceeded to continue their flight, albeit with great resistance. Luna gritted her teeth, straining as the theme frothed over her temple. Spider-Man leapt from Luna's side, landing in the hood of the airborne cars, swinging a strand of webbing into the underside of a nearby truck. Swung through the air before flipping one car hood to the next. High above Shimmer's position, Spider-Man released his webbing and dove into a free fall. Landed on his feet and spun around, throwing a kick into her stomach. The air rushed out of her mouth. But before he could follow with a second attack, the villain dissuaded her hand, generating a shockwave around her body. The force of the blast shattering into the surrounding stone of the street, twisted the steel of the automobiles. Unable to brace himself, Peter sent sprawling several yards backwards until he slammed through a concrete wall and then skidded to a halt. Meanwhile, in a completely other cut that's so completely not disorienting, the rest of the main six suffer pain. Spider-Man remained prone on the ground, wailing like a banshee. Shimmer threw her arms forward with renewed vigor. The spark ignited, knocking Luna off balance. The vehicles resumed flight, speeding towards the princess with high velocity as she struggled with the other bearings. Before the cars could crush Luna, Twilight appeared in front of the woman with a flash of light. Her maid raised her hand, sending out a spiral of violet energy until a magical field formed around the pair. All of the vehicles sped into the shield. But instead of exploding on impact, they all phased through the energy and transformed into stuffed toys before harmlessly falling to the ground. I appreciate your assistance, Twilight Sparkle. Although, Luna was her brow, pausing once her foot stepped on one of the toys and heard a high-pitched squeak. I question your choice of defensive spells. Twilight glanced at Luna from the corner of her eye, giggling sheepishly. Last minute, sorry. Alright, Twilight thought, where's Spider-Man? Luna frowned. He is injured, but within all proximity. She held her arms out, keeping Twilight in place. Stay the course. Do not lose focus. She reported her fangs and hissed at Twilight before spreading her wings and taking flight. However, a shadow darkened her vision as she looked up quickly in reflex. The source of the shadow was scaled wings outstretched, silhouette cassette by the course glare of the sun, wasted no time with pleasantries. It reared its draconic cranium back and charged at Shimmer, using the force of its body like a battering ram to carry the she-devil backwards. As they approached the ground, the dragon pulled up to a safe landing. Link Shimmer continued to soar until she collided with the pavement below. Pouring a crater in the process, a cloud of pebbles and broken cement rose from the impact. Travelers rumbled through the ground. Twilight and Luna, finally realizing their newest ally was none other than Spike, rushed to the dragon's side. It certainly wasn't in the best condition to be fighting, but the help was sorely needed. Seeing his grin again helped calm Twilight's nerves in Spike's situation. Shimmer crawled out of her hole, snarling, driven mad with anger, forcing the trio to resume their defensive positions. Breathing was harsh, like glass scratching through a rough surface. She raised her hands, allowing magical energy from the air to fill them. Vibrations snaked their way through the streets, causing several buildings to sink in response. The sky darkened, allowing only a few rays of light to shine through the clouds. Shimmer's hands clenched to a fist before she ran to the ground. Suddenly, surrounding buildings crumbled, foundations giving away as if a great weight were crushing them. Steel beams bent downward, succumbing to the drastic increase of gravity instantly. Twilight's mouth fell agape. By his stars! The waves sped towards them. Luna's eyes shot open. Twilight Sparkle, to me! Twilight and Luna raised their hands skyward, creating a violet and blue shield large enough to cover Spike in their immediate area. Before skiing down, Billy scrambled away from the gravity's might. Twilight's arms shook, but the mage held her ground, letting an odd grunt betray her determination. A second wave crashed down, slamming into the shield with enough power to push it to the ground. A cracked form, spreading as a third wave struck the surface. Luna gritted her teeth, recoiling with every strike the shield absorbed. Shimmer raised her fists, prepared to repeat her action, but a ball of webbing struck her hand and exploded on impact, covering her entire arm, while the sticky substance soared through the air, connecting with Shimmer's other hand and arm. The sky suddenly cleared as if nothing transpired. Twilight fell to a knee, panting to regain her breath as the shield lowered. Shimmer directed her glare in the direction of her attacker, spying Spider-Man with one hand and extended in the other placed over his side. Foam escaped from the corner of her mouth before she released a soul-wrenching screech. Peter shook his head. It's over. There's nothing else you could do, he commanded, just a hint of pain behind the words. Spider-Man swallowed, just before walking forward, closing a gap between himself and Shimmer. She extended her hands, aiming them at Spider-Man. Here we go, filling with energy. The light dissipated, fading before anything could be done. Shimmer growled, staring at her hands irritably. Their light grew bright, only to dim. Shimmer grew furious, hissing at the gossamer. Extending his hands, Spider-Man unleashed upon rods of webbing on the woman until her entire upper body, apart from her head, was bound. Shimmer howled, attempting to break the webbing. But her struggle proved fruitless as the gossamer emitted a light, her magic seeping deep into the strands. like a relentless caged animal. She tossed and turned in desperate attempt to free her breathing. Spider-Man fell to a knee, wheezing. Try as much as you want, but you won't be breaking that. Not without a clear head or super strength. That webbing is made from the crystals and Carolot catacombs. They're made of an element that cancels out magic, your entire source of power. Unless you can use the precise frequency of the magical vibrations, you'll never break free. Crying, Peter rolled to her side, his breathing deepening. At least for another 30 minutes, he whispered to himself. Luna appeared before shimmering a flash of light, placing her index finger on the girl's forehead. The princess furrowed her brow before her pupils vanished behind a bright light. Magic poured from Luna and rushed to Shimmer, causing the latter female to scream in terrible pain as every fiber and every muscle of her body shook violently. The color in her eyes returned to a shade of blue before her body exploded in a burst of energy. Despite the shockwave, Luna remained still with her finger in place. Twilight sprinted over to Spider-Man's position, crying out as she reached down to him. Light dismissed, revealing that Shimmer's skin was fair, no longer a deep shade of crimson. Her bat-like wings were gone, having returned to her back. Shimmer stared at Luna with a gaze over-expression. Her irises rolled back into her head as he collapsed onto her back. Spike slowly went over to meet the others. Oswald's corruption has been cleansed. I'm going to ignore my rage over Luna being able to do that so damn easily! Sunset Shimmer should recuperate in time, Luna declared, shifting her gaze to the gossamer was continuing to hold the girl. Before turning to face Spider-Man, it's a genius. I'm amazed you managed to create something like this after your duel with my sister. And I'm going to ignore why it's so stupid. No response was given, save an incoherent one. Spider-Man coughed roughly. Traces of blood escaped from the mouth region of his mask. Think of bleeding internally. Breathing was strained. He managed to chuckle, as well as cough up more blood. I can't tell you how hard it was to process those crystals without nullifying their effects. He coughed once more, growing as a puddle of blood on the ground began to thicken, and a loud popping sound from his midsection. Okay, no question. I am bleeding internally. I need a doctor. Twilight shook her head, holding her hands over Peter's body. Will you stop talking? You're not helping yourself right now. Biting down her lips, she'd face Princess Luna. We need to return to Dr. Strange's sanctum. Sirens echoed throughout the air, steadily grew louder, pulsing their area. Now, indeed, Luna replied, holding her hand over her head. Flash of light, everyone vanished. However, no one noticed the photographer before they departed, who held several pictures of Spider-Man in his grasp. 27 days remain. Peter stared blankly at the ceiling, brow twisting in vulnerability. You know, this is the first time I've been into the hospital since I met you, Twilight. Man, remind me to apply for life insurance when we get back to Equestria. The sealed medic paid no mind to the man's commentary as he continued with his procedure. Peter grimaced once the needle pierced his skin and bit his lip as the serum entered his bloodstream. Resting his hands against the pillow, the young man groaned. His lips curled in a smile as Twilight laid by his bedside, taking hold of his hand. Will you get hazard pay for this? If so, I'll take a kiss and a cookie. Twilight smiled, giving her lover a soft kiss before retaking her seat. We still have cheesecake. Logan folded his arms, smoldering. Sorry we weren't there to help you out, kid. Mandarin kept us busy while you toured the city a new one. He placed his hand over Twilight's shoulder, keeping his gaze staring on Peter. I'm impressed with your girlfriend, Parker. That's twice you two entered a fight. She came out in bare shape. It's clear she's the brains of your relationship. Peter rolled his eyes. You smell like a wet dog. Shink! Logan's claws were inches from Peter's nose. You're already bleeding on the inside. Don't make me gut you. Oh, so this is Ultimate Logan. Twilight shook her head. Go easy on him, Mr. Logan. It's my fault Peter's here. He hadn't finished recovering from this fight with Hulk. His wrists were bruised and now they're broken, and he's bleeding internally. Sighing, the girl nodded. With Princess Luna here, she can increase her recovery. Peter can't do anything that's stressful for at least a week. No, God, please, no! That means another 7 chapters of Peter resting, doing nothing but sitting on his ass and doing absolutely bullcrap! Oh, God, we're gonna be here forever, aren't we? No way! Peter said to his seat. Oh, yeah, thank God. The sharp path ceases moving, keeping the man stationary. We saw what Sunset Shimmer was able to do. What's stopping Osborn with giving those powers to someone else? I can't just sit back while that psycho's out there with an army. That's what we're here for, Spider-Man, Fury declared, frowning. His one good eye scanning through the notes on the clipboard the doctor left. It says here that you can barely breathe. Little fat. My fast. Probably stumbled towards Twilight. Listen to your woman. Stay put. Since we're setting up base here at the Sanctum Sanctorum, we'll be able to react to the Goblins' Masters of Evil. Hey, you guys might want to pick a team loadout for the Hell mission with Magneto, so that way he can save both Jean and Nightcrawler. I just want to give you that bit of advice. Also, I think you guys might want to do some level grinding in the previous areas. And also, I want you guys to go back and maybe go get some items you may have missed. There are a few collectibles within each of those stages that you guys skipped over that you're going to want to grab. And furthermore, I think you guys also might want to check out a few secrets inside those levels, because those are equally important. I recommend bringing somebody who can fly and maybe do their... Oh, and by the way, if you want my advice, level up Iceman so he can use his ice slide ability, because that makes traversing some of the stages so much better. Then again, personally, I prefer sticking with flying characters anyway, because that would make things so much better. Although, I am curious as to how you guys are going to set up the Asgard levels, because, well, hey, that's going to have to do it. But, hey, since we're ripping off and copying Marvel's Ultimate Alliance word for word, can we maybe do the CR Empire bit? Because I think Twilight would go gaga over there, and maybe she can help save Leandra. I'm just saying, I mean, I really love Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I was just playing that right about now. Peter hesitantly straining his shield director. Afterward, Fury maintained eye contact with Twilight. Speaking of which, where's Sunset Shimmer? Trixie has a question. Let's bring her. What is it, Trix? If you are so against the ultimates in every fiber of your being, and every form they take, why are you still reading like Ultimate Nick? But I'm not reading like Ultimate Nick. I am reading like this is Samuel L. Jackson Fury. Oh! See, I'm not doing Ultimates. I'm doing Movie Nick. Movie Nick is awesome! Twilight leaned against the bed, resting her chin to the palm of her hand. She's in confinement right now. Princess Luna already sent Princess Celestia a letter to make sure the cell is ready for sunset. We plan to speak with her in Equestria and make sure that all of Osborn's influence is removed in a couple of days. Depending on Princess Luna and Celestia's decision, Sunset Shimmer may or may not return to Earth. Also, she said that I might as well say fuck off to my friends because I don't need them. For now, Princess Luna needs to tend to your injuries as best as she can before temporarily departing. Plus, gives Princess Celestia time to receive the letter and make preparations. Peter cuts his hand in his hand. Sounds like Shimmer's about to stand trial. Place down in her chair. You could say that. Sunset Shimmer did commit a number of crimes, stealing a royal artifact, aiding in the entity of an evil of being a couple. It also doesn't help she freed Sombra. I guess Princess Celestia and Luna have to determine how many of Shimmer's decisions were made on her own. It's a precaution. If we let her join us, at least we can have some faith that she won't betray us. I certainly hope they're lenient towards her. Well, I got her last night. Sunset is willing to cooperate with us. She mentioned something about Oscorp, but we'll have to wait before we can confirm anything. Fury nodded. Alright, leave that to you. In the meantime, my team has to go investigate an incident in Wakanda. Hogan! He walked over to Swordman. You're on standby. Get the team together and tell them we'll head out at 10. Okay, chat, there is no Wakanda in Ultimate Alliance 2. I mean, in Ultimate Alliance 1. But in Ultimate Alliance 2, there is one. Logan Huff walked past the shield director. Whatever. He stopped in his tracks, giving Twilight a friendly smirk. I'll be back. If Parker annoys you, punch him in the gut. After Wolverine made his way out of the room, the Doctor and Fury followed. Leaving Twilight and Peter alone. The young man tugged at his hospital gown, bemused. Well, this'll be a boring week. Try reading this, Vic! How's Blake holding up? Twilight stood from her seat, taking Spider-Man's costume from the foot of bed. His ties incredibly thick. Aside from some soreness, he's okay. Racing the door, pausing to give her lover a warm smile. I'm gonna clean your costume. Once you're on finished cooking, I'll be back. Someone has to make sure you take your meds. The girl closed the door behind her, made her way through Steven's home. The journey was brief, but she reached the downstairs lobby quickly. Her computer sat on the open table. Twilight exhaled. So much had happened since he returned to the base yesterday. It was careless, leaving such a gift unattended to. Last thing she wanted to do was lose her personal digital library. Twilight threw Pierre's costume over his shoulder before closing her computer, taking it into possession. Spider-Man is a crook and master of our society. Twilight's eyes shot open as she turned to face the television. Yesterday, around 3 p.m., witnesses saw Spider-Man leading an attack in the city, according to the Daily Bugle's editor-in-chief, J. Jonah Jameson. While there are no casualty report, over $3.5 billion of damage was dealt to our fair city. Shaking her head, Twilight grit her, straining her hair in disbelief. No, you better not. The image on the screen changed, revealing an older man. His name was displayed under his face, and Twilight scowled at the words of J. Jonah Jameson. He pointed at the camera, nodding. 4 years! It has been 4 years since we saw that wall-crawling freak. He comes back and puts our city in danger. You see Spider-Man, report to the police, so we can finally see that vigilante brought to justice. Bolt of energy pierced the television screen, engulfing the flat box in a puff of smoke. The magical glow in Twilight's hand dissipated. I don't believe this, she scoffed, slamming her fist on the table. 4 years and he's still muttering the same nonsense? She paced across the room, glaring intently on the ground, but Twilight stopped, our eyes widening at a thought. I won't stand for this, not any longer. Twilight, tell me you're about to do something that's not going to be utterly terrifying if you think about it. Twilight opened up her computer. Jarvis, there's something I want to do, but I need help working through the process. Twilight, I remind you, you're only going to be in the human world for a month, so please think about this before you do something stupid! Can you help me? The computer busted alive. Yes, Miss Twilight, I'm here to assist you. What seems to be the problem? Twilight explained her plan in detail. After a few moments, he stared intently at the computer. Can we make this work, Jarvis? Yes, Miss Twilight. You have the resources. It's easily possible. Let's go over the contingencies. Sighing, Twilight smiled. Thank you, Jarvis. What's the first thing we need to do? Back upstairs, Peter and Logan shared a drink. One glass of milk, the other chugged down a can of beer. A bright light erupted near the position, causing Logan to easily cut his can. Peter nonchalantly finished his beverage, smiling as Twilight came to view. She leaned over his body, pleading expressing her violet eyes. Peter, can I borrow $98 million? Logan started involuntarily. Peter's eyebrow arched, disappearing behind his unkempt hair. The request was simple, yet relentlessly outrageous. Logan's jaw dropped when Peter nodded. Sir, you know where my card is. Don't forget to pin. If you need anything else, just ask Jarvis. He stayed, earning a kiss on the cheek before Twilight vanished. After a few moments, Logan slapped his hand on his forehead. Okay, bub. I know you're rich now, but that's a load of money you just loaned. What the heck is he planning on doing? Shrugging, Pierre shrugged his arms high over his head. Knowing Twilight? Not much. I bet he's going to Stark Tower to find upgrades for Jarvis or something. Logan raised his brow, earning a scuff from Pierre in return. Come on, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know, something that's going to cause me to be utterly horrified. Several hours passed. Pierre groaned and images on the television screen. He easily picked the buttons on his remote, to change the channel every few minutes. This bites. I think the Sorcerer Supreme would have something better than basic cable. Can't even get the scores a game. And I refuse to watch TMZ. So do we all. That still runs the mind and soul. Same thing you can say about daytime television. Breaking news! The Daily Bugle has... Pierre's eyes widened. What the... He turned to the channel to the broadcast, but dropped the remote, a slight dot aside of Twilight. She sat behind a desk, reading a newspaper with a coy grin on her face. Repeat, the Daily Bugle has been bought out and is under new management. Now let's hand it over to the owner of the new company, Tara Sparkle. Oh my fucking Celestia. You did. You did it. Oh my god. Where do I begin? Well, how stupid this plot point is! Peter's hand met his forehead with a smack. You didn't change your last name? What were you thinking? With a last name like that, folks will probably think you were raised by hippies. Your multicolored hair is alright enough for them to assume that. He was on the screen phased with a new one. Twilight waved to the crowd. Flashes from the cameras never ceasing. Miss Sparkle! Miss Sparkle! How do you explain that you were able to actually buy out the Daily Bugle within a freaking day when that type of merger and that type of buyout could take weeks, if not months, to be able to perform?
Such a thing is not instantaneously granted. Miss Sparkle, how were you able to deal with all these Starkbulkers that could possibly tell you no? Miss Sparkle, how were you able to erase such a deal so quickly, even with the help of Jarvis? Miss Sparkle, isn't the fact that you were being held to suddenly gain all this money kind of suspicious? How were you able to become so rich in such a quick time? Miss Sparkle, we have other questions that show why logically this does not work. Inside the screen revealed a new one. Twilight waved to the crowd, flashes from camera, they were ceasing. Thank you! For quite some time now, the Daily Bugle has been the city's source of news. But poor management and directing has led to the financial collapse of this company. I vowed to rebuild the Bugle from the ground up. I'll start by erasing every falsehood labeled under Spider-Man's name. This is a day of change. Spider-Man was never a criminal, and I will now show everyone that he is a hero, unlike the former editor-in-chief. Formal? I will remain professional and honest. She sat down from the podium, waving out the crowd. Thank you. The crowd went wild. Pierre lowered his head and sighed. Applesauce. I'm with Pierre on this. Let's ignore the fact that logically this is an impossibility to be able to do it that fast. Let's ignore all that and remind you that Twilight's only there for about a month. 26 days remain until the portal closes. Within the walls of the Bugle, Twilight sat behind her desk, the entirety of her attention staring at a newspaper in hand. In bold print, the headline read, Daily Bugle under new management, and the girl's smile widened at the article. She placed the paper down, turning her sights on the computer. She reached behind the device for her teeth and earpiece. It was in place. Twilight stood from her seat and folded her arms and walked over to the window, peeking down at the city beneath her. Thanks again for creating a believable alias for me, Jarvis. Is everything taken care of with the finances? She questioned, tapping the device over her ear. Well, I'm pleasant, Miss Twilight. Debts have been paid, and you owe 100% to the company. So let's turn to a coy smirk. Good. Now let's get started. Call our staff and send them to my office. It's high time I meet everyone, even Stevenson. Hey, Vic, you do know it's not just the Bugle that calls Spider-Man evil, right? In one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, written by JMS, of course. What? Just because I dislike the totem idea doesn't mean I don't love certain issues. There is a story where Aunt May is going into the library, and she starts going through the different articles she's subscribed to. And every time she sees a newspaper article that denounces Spider-Man and calls him evil, she unsubscribes. Like, say, the Bugle, of course, the Times, and the Post. One newspaper actually asks, is Spider-Man just misunderstood? And she compliments it. Let's turn to a cold smirk. Good. Now let's get started. Oh, make sure you send those petitions out before the hour is done. I want everyone who's ever been saved or helped by Spider-Man to come to the Bugle and tell their side of the story, whether they live in the city or other side of the world. We should have phone calls throughout the day. We have the staff answer each call, and if we're flooded, we'll clear the lines, but call everyone back. No one will be turned away. Is that clear? Even if they aren't within the city, cover their travel expenses. That's horribly expensive to cover all their travel expenses. Don't care, I'm going to throw away money because I have no idea how cash works. Yes, Miss Twilight. Nodding, Twilight turned to her seat, placing her elbows on the desk. This has gone long enough. I swear, I'll make sure everyone sees Spider-Man the way I do. He's been undermined. It's time I change that. Miss Sparkle, this is biased reporting. I say this is completely ethically impossible and completely ethically irresponsible. The door swung down, and Stevenson stepped in, fuming as he gritted his teeth. Twilight rolled her eyes and exhaled. Claire Betsy, the older man's. And that's starting with you, Jonna. Pierre stared at the ceiling, uncertain in his eyes. Luna sat by his side, covering her glowing hand in a shirtless abdomen. The young man attempted to move, but he sharply recoiled, leaning back into his pillow. News report last night remained on the television, finding its way to most of the available channels. His exasperated groan escaped from Pierre's mouth before he threw his hands up in frustration. Luna closed her eyes, sighing once the young man cringed and paid mind to his injuries. I cannot properly hear you if you continue to squirm. Try to relax, or I will make you,
she muttered, a hint of warning in her voice. Pierre folded his eyes and frowned. Your bedside manners suck. Most nurses are petty, or at least try to smile around their patients. Luna arched a brow and frowned in tract. Pierre shrugged, groaning. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, but it'd kill you to smile. If one looked closer, you might have spotted pink blush on Luna's cheeks. Pierre did, evident by his knowing grin. The woman paused, raising her hand. A trail of electricity sparked from her fingertip. The mild alarm at the back of Pierre's head indicated that this was not an empty threat. He sighed, bemused. Jeez, well, that's wearing a sense of humor. You still make it seem like you hate me at times. I do not hate you. I can honestly declare you are very dear to me, she replied, voice softer than usual. Inhaling deeply, Luna brought her free hand alongside her glowing one. Both hands began to emit a light before the energy surrounded them flowed to Pierre's body, particularly the area beneath his chest and above his stomach. She turned, giving the young man a synthetic smile. The injuries are far worse than you realize. I simply do not want you to aggravate them. This seemed to calm Pierre as he eased to her magical touch. As she go to furrow her brow, noticing the young man's glare was fixed on a box called a television. He seemed disturbed. Is it over Twilight Sparkle's recent behavior? Pierre opened his mouth, only for a yawn to escape before any words could be formed. Yeah, I don't get it. Why buy the bugle? What does Twilight hope to gain from it? She wouldn't even talk about it last night. Heck, she barely said a word to me this morning. I'm just frustrated, I guess. He closed his eyes, to rouse his sleep reaching out to him. Pierre stared at glance of Luna, who returned his gaze over the corner of his eye. I just hope she doesn't go overboard. Luna smiled. Twilight Sparkle is my sister's apprentice. I am certain she will remain calm and exercise good judgment. Twilight pointed at the older man across from her, persisted. Jameson? You're fired. What the f***?
Oh, great. He goes to explode. Well, he'll probably rant about it once we reconstructed his body tomorrow. See you then.